Today we will discuss a few methods to iterate over an array in TypeScript. TypeScript is JavaScript with a safety net. It helps you write bug-free code by allowing you to define types and showing errors at the time of compilation. Here I have an array, a string array uh, by the name of fruits, and I have added some fruit names in it. And let's see how we can iterate over it. The first method is a traditional for loop, and it lets you initialize a variable, define a terminating condition, and then an increment statement. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to display the contents of the array. Okay, since I am running my code in VS Code, I will show you the command. This is the command to run a TypeScript file in VS Code. The tsc command helps to convert the TS code into JavaScript, JS, and then the node command runs that code. Because the TypeScript code is always converted to JavaScript to run. So let's run this, and we have the names of the variables. Another thing to note is that these statements can be written independently. For example, I did not need to define it right here. I could just write it at the top as well, and it would have worked just as fine. It would have still worked. You can write these statements separately. Okay. And another thing to remember is that the conditional statements break and continue work in the for loop. Okay. The second method is the for in loop, and it lets you iterate over the indices of an array. So for example, if I write for const index in fruits, and I want to display the let's just display the value of the indices first. So for example, if I write index, let me show you how it will work. So it's showing me the indices of the elements in the array. The array has 6 elements, and the indices will be starting from 0 up to 5. So we can see it here. Now if you want to access the elements, you can just write fruits index, and let's basically, okay, let's decorate it a bit. So let's go and write it in the backticks, and this is the corresponding index, and this is the name of the, so let's run this again. So this is the index number and the corresponding value in the array. This is a looping method, and the conditional statements break and continue work in the for in loop. The third method is the for off loop, and this iterates over the elements of the array. So the for in loop was iterating over the indices, but if you want to directly access the contents or the elements of the array, you can just write value of array, and it will let you display that, access that element directly. Let's maybe change the color a bit to see the difference. And for red, it's let's copy it. 0, and anything else, maybe value dot to uppercase. Let's run this code and let's see how it works. It's a very subtle difference, but you can see that the for in loop we were iterating over the indices of the array, but in the for off loop we are directly accessing the elements of the array, which is a string. Here you can see in index and in value we are accessing the values of the array. Since this is also a looping method, so the break and continue statements work in the for off loop. The next two methods that we are going to discuss are actually the array methods. And the first method is to iterate over an array is the for each method, and it takes a callback function which is implemented over every element of the array. And fruits dot, so for example we say fruits dot for each, and we so this is the for a callback function we take a value, and this is the index, and suppose we are looking to display the contents, so we can do it like this again, and maybe let's to uppercase, and let's change the color this time to maybe blue, so you can see the difference. To show you the difference, we'll change the color to, and let's run this again. Oh, so this is orange, I forgot the color. This is the for each method. It can also take in this case I have used the function like this, but it can also take a callback function within this, within the arguments. For now I have passed the value and the index to uh, the callback function. This is basically the callback function. And the final method that I'm going to discuss today, this is an array method, so the conditional statements do not work. So if you are looking to use conditional statements in your looping, you should not use this. Then the final method that I'm going to the final method that we are going to discuss is the map method. This also takes this is also an array function, and it takes a callback and implements it over each individual element of the array. Let's change the name. I've used value before, so let's say item, and let's display the items of the array. So let's say item, and in this case am trying to 32, and this is a simple way to add some colors to outputs in JavaScript or TypeScript. So it's simple. Let's just copy this and change this to 0. And let's, for a minute, also display the index. Okay, let's go and run our code. So there we go. We have the important thing to remember is that the break and continue statement do not work in the map method as well. So there we discussed 5 different ways to iterate over an array in TypeScript. The first three were the looping methods, and the last two were array methods. One was for each, and the other one was map. And both of these methods basically take a callback function or take each individual element of an array and apply a function over it. In this case, it was console log. I hope this video was informative for you, and till next time.